It's the final percent. The final percent.
All right, we are on the move. We are in the Jeep today. I am running around trying to get this summit, this conference, this, personal growth gathering across the finish line. And, it's been a wild ride. I'll say one thing. I am absolutely hiring an event planner next time because, one of the things I say in coaching all the time is, you don't know what you don't know, and holy crap, is there a lot I didn't know. This is a huge undertaking. It's a huge amount of risk, but it goes back to those magic words I just know. Greg, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this in the middle of a pandemic? Why are you doing this in the middle of so much uncertainty? Why are you doing this? And, tickets are hard to sell, this, that, and the other. Everyone's scared. Well, I think that's what we're going to call this podcast, is everyone is scared. And usually we're scared because of the unknown, right? We're scared because we don't know the outcome. We don't know if it's going to work out. We have this sense of security we are looking for. We just want to know that we're going to be safe, that everything's going to be okay. But realistically, we've got this song that's coming out on the album. It's called Prevail. I know that if you listen to the podcast regularly, you will see and hear that I actually released that song without anyone realizing it inside one of my podcasts. And I talked about Prevail. And one of the lines in there, it says, everything you've ever wanted and everything you've ever needed is just on the other side of fear. Fear isn't necessarily a bad thing. Now, don't get me wrong. It is a mechanism to alert you of change. It's a mechanism to alert you, but usually we fear the unknown. We fear an unknown outcome. We fear whether or not it's going to work out. We fear, are we who we think we are? Is this who we think it is? Is this what we think it is? Are these other people going to show up in relationships? Who is this person in 3 months? Am I going to get married to them? Am I going to have kids with them? The fear of the unknown. But here's the thing. We can change fear to exciting. And something happened to me today. We were in the meeting, and my nephew, in his infinite wisdom, holds up the clock, and he said, guys, we are 15 days away. And I had this weird pit in my stomach just immediately develop, like, oh my God. What? I mean, for so long I've looked at that clock and it's had months on it. There's been like, oh, it's 2 months away, it's 3 months away, it's 1 month away, it doesn't matter. But there was a month. Now we're talking about literally 15 days. What have we been working on for 6 months? What have we been working on for a year? This album took us over a year to do. The vendors that we're having to do, the food that we're having to do, the entertainment, the production, the logistics, the orchestration of everything coming together. Does it come together? Does this all fall apart? Are we building a house of cards? Those thoughts enter your mind. Now, I would appreciate you guys to come and see if this house of cards falls down or if we've built a solid foundation. I tend to think we are on the more solid side of things, but I've never done this before. This is scary. But the thing is the reason I'm getting scared is not because I think I'm going to fail. The reason that I'm scared is I know that this is the catalyst of change. The reason that I'm scared is I know that for some reason, everything is different after this conference. This is a huge undertaking. And you have to be borderline crazy to do it. Well, I found a bunch of crazy people. I got my speakers, and I've got people who are sponsors, investors, everyone who wants to see if this can make the change, the impact that we think it can, that we think it will. Because we're pouring our heart and soul in it. But when that fear comes up, is it this nervousness, this Nervous excitement. It's kind of like, hey, the best way that maybe I could put this together, Kayla's 7 months pregnant, guys. Check that out. How cool is that? And just, one of my good friends and I, Hollywood, we had a great conversation earlier today. He said it's really interesting how everyone's version of success is so different. Everyone's version of success is so different. And every time, actually when I was talking to Tim and Sharon, we were all sitting around the table when we were on the tour last year. And I was looking at everybody, and I was just like, wow, this is crazy that I'm sitting at the table. And then Sharon, being this catalyst of pulling dreams and thoughts and things out of you, she says, I want to go around the table and just share what everyone's goal is. What is your hope? What is your wish? What does success look like to you? What do you want to get accomplished this year? And everyone, gave normal success goals. I want to grow my business. I want to this. I want to impact more lives. Noble goals. No one's answer is wrong. But when it got to me, I looked at Kayla, I looked at everyone else, and I said, hey, I just want Kayla to get pregnant. We went through a terrible miscarriage now a little over 3 years ago. And it was one of the worst things we've ever had to endure. And we've been trying for 2.5 years at this moment. And we're starting to get worried. Now that's fear. That's a different kind of scared. And I'm kind of nervous to meet my kid because now she is pregnant. So I'm already successful. Check this out. Nobody shows up for the summit. Nobody. All this hard work, and it's just me and the speakers talking to nobody. I'm still successful. I still did it. If I could have one thing, when we were around that table, that thing is on the way. But here's the thing. Here's the other fear. I've got this fear of being a dad, but it's like this nervous excitement. What about when I meet my kid? It's like I'm giving birth, and I'm going to see who this little guy is. That's really exciting, right? That's incredible, right? This conference is a lot like giving birth. This conference, I'm finally going to see this thing that we've been growing for, roughly a little over a year. We had these thoughts. After the last summit, we said, maybe we do a conference next year. Maybe, just maybe. Well, we did it. We made that choice. We went all in. We went the final percent. And now we're going to get to see what that looks like. We're going to get to see what this kid looks like. We're going to get to see what we've been cooking in the oven. Because we've been pregnant for a while now. We've been talking about this for a while now. Does it come together? Oh, it'll come together. It's like Jim Rohn says. In 5 years, you're going to arrive. The question is where? You're either going to arrive at an undesigned life or a well-designed life. The choice is yours. So come September 25th and 26th, we're going to arrive. What have we been up to for the last 9 months? What have we been doing? What have we been cooking up? Does this come together? Does it blow up? Does the house of cards come down, or are we standing on solid ground? I'm not going to sing standing on shaky ground because I think we've put in some really amazing work, and I'm excited to show everyone. But I've got that thing in the pit of my stomach, kind of like I'm showing someone part of my soul for the very first time. You're going to see what the final percent really is. And then a month after the summit, I'm going to get to meet my son. I'm going to get to have birth in that way. That's what we're going through. You have these thoughts. You have these countless actions. You have these countless conversations. And then you give birth. You give birth to your idea. You give birth to an action. You give birth to your dreams. That's what we're going through, guys. That's what we're doing. That's where we're at. So I invite you to come check out what we've been up to. But fear is just an indication that something's about to change. And when I felt that this morning, when I had that pit in my stomach, that fear rear its head, I had to analyze it, figure out what's going on. And I said, you know what? This is fear/nervousness, like I'm going to get to meet my kid for the first time. And when I tied those things together, I said, boy, I got to talk about that. That's powerful. So, guys, we're going the final percent. This is shaping up to be maybe my favorite thing that I've ever done in my entire life. But, I mean, let's be honest. A month after that, November 9th, when my little guy is supposed to be here, it's going to break. He breaks the record, just so you know. But until that happens, guys, come see us give birth to what the final percent is all about. If you've ever wondered what we've been up to, if you've wondered what the final percent is supposed to be, can be, should be, is trying to be, is developing into, come check it out. I invite you to do that. Thefinalpercent.com. Click on, are you ready for the Purple Explosion? The Purple Explosion is the concert that's happening. We have done an entire album of inspiration and motivation to be the soundtrack for your comeback. The soundtrack to have you make those changes. Remember, you are a product of what you let into your ears and your eyes. Let's choose the right things. Get in the room, proximity to power, have those conversations, show up, show out. And guys, thank you so much for going the final percent with me. I'm going to be doing one of these back. I just had way too much stuff to do to be knocking out the podcast, but until the summit, even day of, the morning of, I'm committing every single day, even the morning of the first day of the summit, I'm going to drop a podcast on you because we're going to document what it looks like to figure this thing out, as crazy as it is. But thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for going the final percent with me. This podcast has been the update of the final percent.
It's the final percent. The final percent.